African Leaders Initiative, which was started by President Barack Obama, which essentially brings 500, from what you understand, 500 of Africa's young best and brightest to America to learn and to network and to create connections. And initially with Yali, I didn't think I could make it, and I'm a very confident person, and I am, willing to try. But when I looked at the criteria, I thought to myself, there's no way. I mean, what have I done? And I'm a pretty confident person, but in that moment, I just felt intimidated, and I felt, no, this is not me. I couldn't get in, even if I tried. And my husband was the one who said, listen, you meet every criteria on that list. You are doing amazing things, and the world should learn. And so in my application, I really honestly didn't want to apply. So my husband went online and started the application, put in the demographic data, and I was like, oh, you must write you had to write an essay. And I said, no, leave me alone, I have clients, don't bother me, I really don't think I'm gonna get in. And he was very insistent. We even got into a fight over it. I said, okay, fine, I'll write it. So I remember it was Sunday. I went to church. After church, I drove to Golden Tulip. So I just sat there and I put together essentially, my personal statement essay. And I talked about my story of failure as an entrepreneur and what I had learned along the way and what I had achieved after that failure. And I was like, okay, I had somebody, check their grammar, and I sent it off. And I really didn't think that I was on the level that they were requiring, or they were, they were looking for Africa's best and brightest. And a few months later, I got an email which said, you've been accepted. And I just thought, whoa, this is, to this day, I think that's amazing, because I ended up spending 3 months in the US. The first 6 months was at Yale University with this amazing group of Africans that were achieving amazing things. I met Jessica. Jessica's from Mauritius. She was 27, and at 27, Jessica had started an HR business that was in Mauritius, Kenya, and Tanzania. And when she had started a business even when she started a business in Tanzania, she didn't know anybody. She literally backpacked in Tanzania, looked for clients. 27 years old, she had a vibrant, amazing business that was in 3 countries in Africa. It was just an amazing opportunity to meet an amazing group of people. And we spent 3 weeks at Yale learning from, learning strategy, learning about business from Yale professors. I didn't go to Ivy League, so it's just exciting for me. And then I spent the rest of the time between DC and Philadelphia working what essentially was an apprenticeship with a venture capital fund that looked at tech companies in Africa and understanding how venture capital worked, the ins and outs. And yes, if I hadn't been pushed, I would have said, there's no way I could possibly get in. The criteria is not for me. And if I hadn't, I would not have had the amazing opportunity that I had. Just having attended Yali, I got invited to the Global Entrepreneurship Summit last year in Morocco. I got to speak, and Joe Biden was there, who is the vice president for the US. In the speech for the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, she actually mentioned my name based on the fact that I had been on the program, and that just opened certain doors for me. Just being on that program opened certain doors for me, and created an amazing opportunity for me to go places and to do things. So I know I've talked a lot, but I really do want to say take the opportunities. And that's something I find that even running Women in Tech Africa is hard, because one of the things we do is to work hard to find opportunities and share with the group. So it might be jobs, it might be opportunity to partake in media, in the speaking at a conference, and sometimes we don't take those opportunities, and it's not because we're not good enough, because culturally sometimes we want to be perfect at something. So that's the sort of the last advice from me. And then